Elena wasn't supposed to be out that night. She had canceled all her plans after a draining week. But something pulled her out of the house. Something restless. She ended up in a dim cafe tucked between a bookstore and a flower shop, its windows foggy from the downpour outside. That's where she met him. Jude. Quiet, observant, smiling like he knew more than he said. Their connection was instant, like meeting someone from a forgotten dream. They talked for hours, and by the end of the night, exchanged numbers with trembling fingers. But Jude was strange. He didn't have social media, never answered calls after 9 p.m. He'd disappear for days, then return with poems and cryptic text messages that made her feel both cherished and confused. When she asked where he went, he'd just say, "To where silence speaks." Eventually, she visited his apartment, a minimalist space, clean but oddly empty. Only one room was always locked. He never let her near it. One night, she stayed late. Jude had fallen asleep on the couch, and curiosity got the better of her. She found the key inside a drawer marked with a tag that read, "For when you're ready." She opened the door. Inside was a room frozen in time, a woman's scarf on the chair, a pair of heels by the door, a dusty vanity table with framed photos, all showing Jude smiling beside another woman. Elena stared, heart pounding, at the last photo. The woman was wearing her necklace, the one Jude gave her last week. The same design, the same engraving. She turned around. Jude was standing in the doorway, awake, expression unreadable. "She loved the rain too," he said softly. "She disappeared in a storm 3 years ago. They never found her body." Then, after a pause, he said, "Sometimes I think the rain brings her back." Elena's phone buzzed, a message from Jude. But he was standing right there. It read, "Don't trust him. Don't let him lock the door again." Elena's hands trembled as she stared at the message. She looked up. Jude was still there, standing calmly, watching her with eyes too deep, too still. "Who sent this?" she asked, voice cracking. Jude didn't blink. "You've been tired lately, stressed. Maybe you just forgot you sent it to yourself." But Elena knew she didn't. She scrolled up. The number was different, hidden, anonymous. Still, it felt familiar, like her own voice had written it. Something shifted in the air. A chill, a hum behind the silence, like the room was holding its breath. Elena turned back to the photographs on the vanity. The woman looked like her. Not exactly, but enough to stir something cold in her spine. Same dark eyes, same awkward smile, same aura of someone trying to read a riddle no one else could see. "Who is she?" Elena whispered. "She was important," Jude replied. "But that part of my life is over now. You're here." He stepped closer. "You're not like her. You're stronger." The lights flickered. Elena stepped back out of the room. Her instincts screamed. She needed to leave, but something invisible tugged at her. Not fear, not entirely. A strange attachment, like she was tied to this place long before she ever walked into it. Suddenly, behind her, the vanity mirror began to fog up, not from breath, but from inside the glass. Words slowly appeared in the misty surface. "He does this again and again. Run." Elena gasped. She turned. Jude was gone. The hallway was dark, silent. The front door wouldn't open. She ran back to the room. Now, everything had changed. The scarf was gone. The photographs faded. In their place, new items had appeared: her jacket, her shoes, a picture of her and Jude smiling in that very cafe. And below the photo, scrawled in pen, Elena. Elena number 6. Elena's breath caught in her throat. 6? She backed away from the photo. The room felt alive now, like it had eyes, like it was watching her the way Jude did, patient, waiting. From the hall, his voice echoed, "You were never supposed to see that." Elena turned slowly. Jude was standing at the edge of the shadows. Something was wrong with his face, too calm, too controlled. His smile no longer seemed warm. It was rehearsed, worn like a mask. "Who are the others?" she asked, her voice low, trembling. He tilted his head. "They came here looking for something, love, escape, meaning, but they stayed too long, and the house..." He looked around with strange reverence. "The house remembers. It doesn't like letting go." She noticed then the walls had changed. The paint bubbled like skin. Shapes behind the wallpaper almost human-sized, and faint whispers. She stumbled into the hall, trying every door, all locked, except one. A new door that hadn't been there before. Black, narrow, the handle ice cold. With no other option, she entered. The air inside was heavy and old, like time had collapsed in the room. Shelves lined the walls, filled with journals, each marked with a name. Names of women. The 6th one said, Elena. She opened it. The pages were filled with entries, things she hadn't told anyone. Thoughts, secrets, fears from years ago. And the last page read, "She's beginning to see. Soon, she'll remember everything." Suddenly, a memory hit her. Not a new one, a buried one. Her first night with Jude wasn't at the cafe. It was in this house, in this room. She had walked into this place before. She had already lived here, and she had tried to leave. The front door, the broken mirror, the same dream every night of drowning in rain. "Why don't I remember?" she whispered. Jude appeared behind her. "You did, once. But remembering hurts, doesn't it?" He stepped forward. "You all remember eventually, but you always come back." Suddenly, Elena reached for the pen, flipped to the back of the journal, and with shaking hands wrote, "I choose to forget." The room trembled, the lights exploded, a scream tore through the silence, but not from her. She woke up in the cafe, rain falling outside, fog on the windows. A man walked in. He smiled. "Hi, I'm Jude." Elena smiled back, but this time she didn't shake his hand.